Hi, thanks for watching the Crpytozoa YouTube channel. Today we're going to have another interview with one of our Real Cryptozoa members named Scott. Let's dive in and see a little bit about Scott's journey. Hey Scott, how's it going, man?
Hey, good morning. Going great for a Monday.
Absolutely, good stuff. What's the weather like up there?
Well, right now it's about 40 degrees and nice and sunny. So nice spring day. Nice
That
spring
sounds,
day.
that sounds real nice. It's we're in the 50s here, but it's kind of cloudy and overcast. We're supposed to get some bad storms tonight, so
Uh,
good, good, and looking forward to that for sure.
yeah.
So, Scott, tell us a little bit about who you are and what kind of your introduction to crypto was.
Well, great. And yeah, like many people, we come from different backgrounds, and for me, it's been a great journey. Like many of the team, many of the people in the Cryptozoa team, my background is in IT as well, and so yeah, like a kindred spirits. And it's interesting that my career wasn't one I was choosing, to be honest with you. I joined the military back in the '80s, followed the footsteps of a couple of my relatives, and enlisted, and I had a certain path that I was anticipating going on. And sometimes when life throws you a little curveball, you got to have a plan B. So yeah, it was interesting where I was thinking I was going this way. Life says, no, you're going to go in this direction. Anyways, long story short, they discovered when I enlisted, they said two words that changed everything I was going to do or not do in the next several years. And those two words were, "You're colorblind."
Oh,
I had no idea. No
right.
idea. Nothing. Totally out of the blue, so to speak. And so they said, well, you can't do any of this stuff over here, which I was looking to get into the aviation side of the Navy, which sounds weird, right? You go into Navy for boats, but no, I wanted to be part of the aviation community. I'll blame that on the Blue Angels. But anyways, and so I had to have a plan B. And so I looked at all the options and said, well, I think these computer things are going to work out pretty well. So I think I'm going to go in that direction. And that's what started it all. And so even after my tour of duty ended and I was discharged from the military, I decided to stay on with that. And so yeah, I've built a career over the last, well, you can probably tell, a few decades of working in the IT space. And I found my passion was in training.
Okay.
So I've done my whole time of the help desk and overnight call support and all that great stuff and engineering and everything. And I found training was really great. But anyway, so long story short, there it'd been great for as long as I can remember. And then in 2020, things kind of took a little different turn for me, actually a big turn. And so I needed another plan B because, like many people, in 2020 wasn't a good year, and I found myself without a job.
Ouch.
And so it was time to, right, plan B. And I said, well, I'm just gonna work for myself. Just gonna work for myself at this point because that's what I can really control. There's so many things I saw that happened to me
Right.
in that time frame, and I didn't have control over any of it. I said, that's it. I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm gonna I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm gonna put up a shingle and I'm gonna go out and get clients and do that. And so that's been great. That's been great. It's not consistent, of course. You probably know you work for yourself as well. So sometimes the paycheck isn't there when you think it's going to be there, and you got to wait a little bit longer and be creative in the financial side of things. But it's been rewarding. Been rewarding. So right now, if one business wasn't crazy enough, I'm actually running two
Nice.
businesses because I started another business that's not IT related. I'm looking to the future. I'm going to step away from the IT environment, going to get into another business that I can work in my retirement years. And I discovered, so I have a photography business as well, and I focus on the real estate market. So that's been amazing. You probably know, right? The real estate market is just
That's a great spot to be.
crazy,
Photography in
crazy.
that environment's pretty awesome too. I actually, we were talking cameras before we got started on here
Yes,
today.
yes.
I've actually got an Insta 360, 360 3D camera
Got
that
it.
we use for some virtual reality projects that we
Got
did.
it.
And
Got it.
so,
Got it.
that's stuff like that's fantastic in real estate also.
It is wonderful. As a matter of fact, I did have one. I upgraded and I went to the Rico,
Nice.
the Rico Theta, and that's a really nice unit as well. But it's just amazing the stuff that we can build with that. And where that's going to go in the future, think metaverse, all kinds of stuff. That's really going to be amazing.
So what got you into crypto?
Well, great question. So I remember the first time somebody approached me about, or at least talked to me about crypto, was a guy I was working with. I was working for an IT service company at the time, and I think it was back in 2013. And a guy I was working with says, "Hey, I built a rig and I'm mining Bitcoin." This is back when you could do that, right?
Do that easily, right?
Right before they switched over to GPU stuff, right? The CPU stuff was doable at that point in time with a single machine. And he was mining Bitcoin, and he tried to tell me about it. And I'm looking at him like he had three heads, because I'm like, I don't get this. I don't understand this at all. What are you talking about? Digital what?
Yeah.
And it just didn't compute. It just didn't compute. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Hope it works out, and that's it. And I didn't think anything of it, until a few years later. I'd moved on, gone into a different company, and then I started hearing more and more about it. Certainly, it was becoming a bit more popular. I was either reading about it and so on, and then the YouTubers, right? Then the YouTubers really became popular. So I was all engrossed in those guys and what they were talking about and everything. And so then I got into the crypto casino. That's kind of what I'm going to call it, the crypto casino, because a lot of times you're throwing money out there. It's like, oh, I hope I hit it. I hope I hit it big, right?
Right.
And so I was all over, like, oh, what's this thing called Polka Starter? What is that all about? And getting into all that stuff. So my foray into it, I had a little Bitcoin, I bought a little Ethereum. As a matter of fact, I have some in an IRA right now. So that's locked away. I'm not touching that at all. So I know that's long term. And that's good for me because I chase stuff.
Yep.
I chase stuff. And that's
So that
that's why I call it a casino, because it's like, oh, this is going good. I'm going to take money out of this and throw it at this thing, and
it
and I
is. It's a perpetual cycle of reinvestment is what it is. And
yeah,
at some point, the hope is to be able to pull out enough to say, okay, I've got enough now that I can pull out to keep stable and have a plan to reinvest this much. One of the YouTube guys that I watch, and is actually I'm doing an interview with him on Friday on his channel,
oh
uh,
neat,
James Pelton,
okay,
who's one of my team members, and I watch all of his stuff, and I love seeing what he does. He takes basically 50% of everything he earns from his DeFi projects and puts that into a reinvestment pool. And he reinvests that 50%. And I'm not actually sure how he manages the other 50%. It's one of the things I'd like to find out, actually. But
right,
but having a plan to continually reinvest, because you do have to do that. You have to continually reinvest to grow, but you also need to take some profit and be able to put things into the IRA for the long-term haul and things like that. I dropped it. I treat my hardware wallet like that, right?
yeah,
So my hardware wallet is my long-term storage
that's
for
it,
all things crypto, and
that's it,
once I move it into there, it's untouchable, right?
that's it, that's it. You need that safe space to go. Yeah, so that's crazy. And I was texting a buddy of mine just recently. I said to him, "Oh, I'm a crypto millionaire. I'm a crypto millionaire," and it's not because I had anything that was worth $1 million, but no, no, no. I had gone out and purchased a small coin that you've ever seen those that have like four or five numbers to the right of the decimal point,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and I had 1 million of those.
nice,
But I've cashed out. I've cashed out, and that's really how I did get into drip, you
right.
know, because I
So
had
you had
been
a great run on a little crap coin, right?
no, I didn't actually have a great
Oh,
run at all. I just checked it recently, and it's not much further along than when I had originally had it. So I just said, okay, I'm done. I'm done with it, because getting into drip was just a totally different way of looking at investing.
yeah,
And for me, it made so much sense. I read a couple of articles, and it's funny because even before I was a member of Medium, I'm not even sure how I found Medium to begin with. But the first articles I was reading weren't drip related.
Right.
And it's one of those things that you'd get the email that says, "Oh, because you read this, this, and this," and they bubble some other things up. And I think there was a drip article or two that made the way into that feed. And that's the first I'd heard of it. Nobody ever approached me about it, but it was through a Medium article, and certainly, and that's how I got into it realistically. And because I looked at it and says, "Oh, this makes so much sense. It's an automatic thing. I don't have to worry about looking at charts. I don't have to chase anything. I can just take my foot off the gas.
Right.
I let the system do what it's going to do. It's reliable, it's stable, it's consistent. All the things that I was not in investing, right? It was the total opposite of what I was doing. But I said, that's it. That's really it. That's what I need. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And so it just made so much sense. And I think yeah, I it's funny. I think back, I think maybe one of Patrick's, it might have been one of Patrick's articles that I read first. But then I saw this other article and a couple other articles by this guy named Fleming Arnott.
And so that brings us to how you ended up joining the Crpytozoa team, which is also part of your joining Drip story as well. And
Yeah,
Fleming's a fantastic guy. As you know, Fleming is on my team also,
yeah,
and love Fleming. Tell us a little bit more about
yeah,
that and kind of where you got started with the Crpytozoa team and with Fleming.
yeah. Like I said, it wasn't even a question of like looking around or anything. I think his stories just resonated, and I think that's what really makes it so successful. In that you kind of feel a connection, you know, to someone, just the way they write or where they are in life, those kind of things. They kind of feel a connected kind of way, and I did, and so I know I responded to a couple of his articles, commented on those, and he replied back.
Right.
I said, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Here I'm just this nobody, not even in the team at all, but I replied to his stories, and he put a comment back, and I was like, ah, this looks like this is going to be good. So this is going to be good. So it wasn't even a question. And then the other question was, okay, where am I going to get money for this? It's not like there's people that have that ability, that luxury to just, okay, I don't have anything this money's doing, and I'm going to dump it in here. I'm like, okay, now I got to figure out what to do and how to get it in here, because I got to do this. I got to do this. And so that's what I cobbled together. So I have a OneNote document I started when I first got into this. So I've been documenting, journaling, if you will, kind of the whole thing, so I don't forget exactly where I started in this. And so I was selling everything. I had to remember where everything was, to be honest with you, because it was in a bunch of different places. I mean, I had it on. Oh yeah, there was so many little coins, and they were in this wallet and that wallet, and I had to remember where they were to be able to sell them. And I've got to tell you, uh, Ethereum fees killed me. Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh! Here I'm thinking I've got this, and I go to sell it, and I'm like, wait, where did the money go?
No, you're exactly right. It's brutal, and that's why some of the other chains, Binance Smart Chain being my preference, and of course that's where Drip lives and everything else. But some of those other chains with so much lower gas fees, that's what's tremendous about them for projects like Drip and for DeFi projects, where it gives you the ability to do more with less. Right? It lets you start out small if you want to start out
Yeah,
small, and
yeah,
then later on, which is where let's use Fleming as a perfect example here. Right? Fleming started out pretty small, got a good feel for it, got a good understanding of how things worked. And then, as you know, he went all in, right? Like
yeah,
he was one of the first ones on the Crpytozoa team that was like, you know what? I've got this inheritance money. It's really not doing anything. I'm going all in. And, it worked out exceptionally well for him. He was able to pull that back out and get that back into a safe spot within a few months. I think 3 or 4 months, maybe
yeah,
even less, might have been like 14 weeks. Um,
yeah,
but you know you can't do things like that on the Ethereum network because you can't start small, because starting small is your gas
it
fee,
kills
right?
you. It
Yeah,
kills
absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. So, how has been being part of Team Cryptozoa been beneficial for you and your journey?
It's it's been nothing but short of amazing, and I say that realistically because and so many other your other guests have said it so eloquently as well that it's a community environment. It's just an environment where you've got a lot of people that have experiences that you don't have because you don't know where to really start, where to go. But in this environment, there is so much information there for you that you just follow the system. You listen to what's being talked about, the documentation. You can ask questions. People are there to help you because everybody's been in the same spot you are,
Right.
right? Didn't know where to go, what's the first thing you do, and how it all works. And everybody's there to kind of help you and guide you along, so you can stand on the shoulders of giants, right? You can use that phrase because there's others that have got a lot more experience, and I'm hoping to do that for others as well. Because as a trainer, that's my natural inclination. I love sharing information, and helping other people out, and so that's really where I'm looking to go. We're not there yet, certainly in the conversation, but that's part of the plan. But it's been a great thing, and it's been, in a way, I want to say it's been life changing, not because I'm earning anything as of yet. I'm still early. We'll talk about that obviously in a moment. But the idea is that the writing part, the writing part has been for me personally, I don't know what the word is, but it's just been great because up until this, I had never really written anything,
Right.
other than obviously emails, a couple work presentations, but I never really written anything. And so the idea that I challenged myself and say, listen, this is a thing, and you can communicate. If this is a good idea, you need to tell people why it's a good idea. Don't keep it under a rock and hide it, right? You want to pass that information on to other people and say, listen, this is something that's really a good idea. And to write was a big challenge for me initially, but
And that's it.
find it
No, none of
easier.
us were writers when we started here, right? I certainly wasn't a writer. Now I've got 40 something articles out there.
Yeah.
My wife hates it because she's an English major. And so she
Oh
reads
boy.
stuff and it's absolute trash because I'm not a writer. But
That's it.
like you said, stories, real stories, personal stories do resonate with
Yeah.
people the
Yeah.
same way they did with you. And that's what it's all about is putting out your real true stories. We're
Yeah.
we're not out there shilling. We're not shillers. None of us
No.
are because at the heart of it, we're all real decent people and very real people, right? We're not just trying to shill for the sake of shilling. We're trying to share our experiences
Yeah.
that we have seen firsthand, and there's a little shill that goes with that, of course, but for the most part, the things that resonate with people, and I tell people this all the time on my team when they start writing, you're not out there just trying to pitch drip and shill, shill, shill. You're
Right.
out there trying to tell a story and tell your story to get people involved with that so that they want to come join up with you and
Yeah.
talk more about that. And that's what those are all about for us.
Yeah.
So, where are you now in your drip journey?
All right. So, unlike so many of the other people that you've interviewed over the past couple months, I'm really a babe in the woods here. I look back, I think I started a little over a month ago, really. Really. So and at first when when they were asking for interviews, I was like, you know what? I haven't done a lot. So what am I going to talk about? I haven't done a lot in this. You got people that have got such big downlines and everything else and have been in it for such a long, long time. They've got a lot more to share. But I thought, you know what? I still think it's a valuable opportunity for me just to say, listen, it's not too late. Not at all. There's
Right.
still so many good things coming down the road in drip. And even if you just got involved, it's a great journey. So I decided, yeah, I'm going to do this. So I'm early on. So I'm a little over a month in, and And it's been, I got my spreadsheets. Everybody's talked about the spreadsheets. Been through those a few times. And the crazy thing is, I have to keep updating the spreadsheets because I started out with
Right.
just a little. Like I said, I had to sell a bunch of stuff to get my initial purchase, and it wasn't a lot by any means. And so I saw it. Yep, it's compounding. It's doing exactly what it says. My spreadsheet lines up with what the drip page says, and this is cool. It's working. And then, well, in the past, several weeks, the price has been right more attractive. Let's just say that the price of getting drip is more attractive. And so I said, well, I'm going to take advantage of that. And so I scrounged around and look in the couch cushions and found a few more coins that I could put in. And so I purchased some more.
Yeah.
And I did it again. So I've made 3 purchases over the last month or so, and it's been great. And I'm kind of at the edge. I might pull off a Fleming here myself. No promises, but it's a possibility.
It's
It's
such an attractive price for that right now, right? And
yeah,
I did, right? I have, and I'm about to do it again.
that's
I
right.
put in a good chunk at 130.
Yeah.
I put in another big chunk, I think like $37,000
Yeah.
at in the 90s, and
Yeah.
then I've got an even bigger chunk than that coming, hopefully over the next 10 to 12 days. I'm the rare one. I want the price to stay right where it is for the next 10 to 12 days. And then
Get in.
maybe 2 weeks, and then we can go to the moon from there. But
Then you can.
yeah, I've
And
got another big purchase coming up, and I'd like to get that made while the price is down here where it is,
yeah,
and then it can moon from there.
yeah,
So,
that's
but
it.
it's a great entry point right now. Right now is a tremendous entry point, like you said. So many great things coming down. Different partnerships coming out, several NFT type things. Really, a lot coming. Plus, I personally think there is about to be an explosion in marketing about drip as well. And some of the stuff that's been on with the animal farms kind of pulled back a little. I
Yeah.
think as soon as all that shakes out, that we're all off to the races again. I just hope I've got about another 10 days to 2 weeks for that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What about your future plans?
Oh, great. Yeah, the future. So I was looking at it, and I've already written a couple of articles about how I'm looking to replace my current, contracting daily income with, with thrift. So that's one of my bigger goals. But a more immediate one, I was thinking of a real life situation, future plans. Obviously you're going to be able to, replace a car payment.
Right.
Be able to pull and use this for everyday stuff, like you were saying. Hey, drip became real when your wife could buy a shirt. Was it a
Right.
T-shirt or something? Or something? Like that becomes real.
It
So, and I'd
is.
be able to tell the wife, hey, we've got this month's car payment taken care of. That's when the light bulb's going to go on. It's like, what? So that's gonna be great. But I'm looking forward to, and I've already got my daughter, and this is just amazing to me. When I was 22 years old, which is what she is now, the concept of multiple streams of income was nothing I even thought about.
Right.
Wasn't even a thing. I don't even know what I was thinking about at 22. I was in the military, so I probably have a couple ideas of what I was thinking about then. But I'm sorry, it wasn't multiple streams of income. But yeah, that was a conversation we had recently. She goes, I do want to have multiple streams of income, Dad. So I just don't want to have that. So she says, so should I do this? Am I gonna say no? So I said, yes, by all means, yes. So so I have a downline.
No, that's great. And so my
But anyway,
16-year-old and I've had this exact same discussion, right? I don't know if you've actually noticed, he's not super active in the Telegram, but TGC is my son.
okay,
He is 16 years old. He
yeah.
just got done building his first software project for a local funeral home.
Oh my,
And he actually wrote an article about this because they were not willing to enter into like a monthly payment structure, but it's a web-based software, so that
I see.
it has to require some monthly upkeep.
Yeah,
So he's like, Dad, what if I just took my, and he's already been in drip. He's been in crypto since October and has played around with a lot of it. He's super into it, right?
that's
And
great.
so, but he was like, hey, what if I just took the money they paid me, put that into drip, and then I've got a monthly income stream from what they paid me up front. And so he wrote a whole article about this, picked up a downline or two off that article because it just made sense. And so right now, just over the weekend, he launched his website and he's got this set up as a multi-tenant architecture SaaS platform now. And that's his intent, is with all of the setup fees that come through that, every bit of that goes straight to Drip to create monthly income out of those setup fees. And it's a different way of looking at things, just like what your daughter's doing, right? It's pretty neat to see the kids kind of starting to understand what we're figuring out much later in life for some of us, right? This has been my mindset since I was 19, but it's just having the availability of doing it in this way that has really been life altering over the last 6 months for me.
Yeah, that's incredible, and kudos to him, and up to you setting that example. You know.
So, what advice would you give somebody about Drip? Somebody that's just joined like you, more recently. Anything you would have liked to have known, or somebody that's just looking to get in?
So I will kind of parrot what one of your most recent interviewees, Crypto, which that was a great interview, and he said it just succinctly: just do it.
Yeah,
that was it. Just do it. Because I look back and I think I put in one of the articles, my previous articles, I sat on the fence. Sitting on the fence, it can hurt you. It can hurt you, that indecisive time, but just do it. Because the entry point is such a low bar. Such a low bar. You don't have to start off with a big nest egg or anything like that to get into it. Just do it. Just do it. Find someone, read some articles. Obviously, you're going to connect with someone there. Maybe that's going to be your buddy when you get involved. And that's great, because having a buddy,
you're going to be their buddy.
That's right. Having a buddy is just the best thing, because you don't feel like you're in it all alone. You're not thrown into the lion's den or anything like that. There's someone there that you can reach out to no matter what, that's going to be able to answer your questions, that kind of thing. The second thing is get involved in the Telegram groups.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it has been so beneficial to be part of that side of it, because I'm sure there's people that get into Drip and don't do anything in the TGs, the groups at all. They just are there to hydrate and claim or whatever, but they're not involved in the community at all. And I think that's such a strong selling point in the whole ecosystem, is become part of, be active in the groups, because you're gonna accelerate your knowledge, accelerate your understanding in the Drip environment, and that's going to pay benefits down the road, not only for yourself but anyone else that gets involved, because you've introduced them to it.
Absolutely.
It's just amazing.
Guys, I'm going to take this time right here to plug. We're going to have Scott's information down below, how to join Drip, and his buddy ID right there. He would love to have you be on his team and be part of that. He's a very active member on our Telegram group. He's everywhere. And so he would be a tremendous buddy to have. He can help answer questions. If he doesn't know things, we've got plenty of other people in the group that step in and help with that as well. It really is important to have a solid buddy and be part of a solid team. And so, like I said, Scott's information is going to be down below. So use his buddy link, join Drip, and then come find us on Telegram. There'll be a link to the Crpytozoa channel gateway there too. And so use that and come in and meet the gateway guys. Tell them that Scott's your buddy, or that you want Scott to be your buddy. Use his ID and you'll be good to go. And we'll all be part of one big team. So here we go. The last question. Arguably the most important question of the entire interview.
Yeah, I think this is the thing that kept me up nights.
If animals could talk, which one would be the rudest?
Oh, I'm probably going to say a platypus.
Okay. Carry the platypus. Okay.
I'm just going to go with a platypus.
What's the reasoning there?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the bill or whatever, but I just I'm just thinking it would be the platypus.
He just looks like a jerk.
I don't know. This kind of does. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, these are always the fun questions for sure. So
They are. They
Scott,
are.
man, I really appreciate you taking time to talk with us today. It was great to get to know you a little bit more. You know, we talked quite a bit on Telegram, the two of us, and so it's good to put a face with the name and to learn more about you.
And thank you, both you and Mikey, for doing these interviews. I think the community is so much better off because you guys are providing this service realistically for the team and Drip overall. So thank you guys for taking time out of your days to do these as well. So appreciate
We love it.
that.
It's a lot of fun every time around. So guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Down and below, how to join Drip, join the Crpytozoa Telegram group, use Scott as your buddy. He'll be a great one. And we look forward to seeing you there on Telegram. Come find us. Thanks, Scott. Have a great day.
You too.
Hi, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment down below to let us know that you were watching. If you have not joined Drip yet, there's information down below in the description that'll let you join Drip, as well as become part of the Crpytozoa team. We'd love to see you on the Telegram group, and so come check us out. As always, nothing in any of our videos is considered financial advice. We do this for information for people to share the projects that we love. Have a great day, and thanks again for watching.